Welcome to the micro-training Cybersecurity for Substance Abuse and Recovery Care Centers, brought to you by Simple Solutions, a premier healthcare managed IT and cybersecurity services firm. My name is Eric Gaffin, and I'm an information security and compliance consultant with over 3 decades of experience in a variety of heavily regulated industries. I've worked with many HIPAA-regulated organizations, such as yourselves, as an outsourced virtual chief information security officer, as well as CIO handling complex cloud and on-premise technology implementation. And I'm here today to educate both executive and operations team members on a subject that's become a critical part of patient care: protecting your digital environment. Before we start, I would like to provide a quick disclaimer. This video is intended solely for educational purposes. The information I'm sharing is not to be considered a substitute for professional advice. Please consult with a qualified expert for guidance on your specific situation. Module 1. The New Frontline. Why Cybersecurity Matters in Recovery Care. I want you to think about the information you handle every day. It's not just data. It's the story of someone's journey, their courage, and their trust in you. Protecting that story is at the heart of everything we'll discuss today. Your work is vital, and it also makes your organization a target. A joint task force of the government and healthcare industry, part of a program called 405D, recently identified the top 5 threats facing organizations just like yours. We're going to focus on the most common ones today. The first is ransomware. Here's the analogy. Imagine a criminal breaks in overnight, puts every single patient file into a digital vault, and the only person with the combination is them. You then arrive in the morning and can't access schedules, clinical notes, or billing information. Your entire operation is frozen, and the criminals have left a note demanding a huge payment to give you back the key. That's ransomware, a digital kidnapping of sorts whereby your organization is left unable to function. The second, and by far the most common threat, is email phishing. This is the digital trickster. It's an email designed to look like it's from a trusted source, maybe a colleague, your bank, or even your IT provider, that tries to fool one of your staff into clicking a malicious link or revealing their password. Over 90% of successful cyber attacks begin with a simple phishing email. The third threat is loss of equipment or the theft of sensitive data. A lost work phone or an unencrypted laptop stolen from a car can be a devastating data breach. The physical security of your devices is just as important as your digital security. Next is the threat of an insider. This isn't usually a malicious spy. It's often an employee who accidentally emails a file to the wrong John Smith, or the staff member who inadvertently loses a flash drive. Good people can make honest mistakes, which is why having strong processes is so important. Finally, we have malicious attacks against connected medical devices. The increasing use of networked medical devices, such as infusion pumps and patient monitors, introduces new vulnerabilities. These devices can be targeted by attackers to compromise patient safety, alter device functionality, or gain access to broader hospital networks. The cost of these various types of attacks isn't just about regulatory fines. It's about the erosion of that sacred trust you've built with your patients. When they walk through your doors, they are seeking a safe harbor. Your cybersecurity practices are the walls of that harbor. For today, I want to leave you with one thought. You are all risk managers. Every time you handle data, you are making decisions that protect your patients and your organization. In our next module, we'll cover the specific legal guardrails you need to operate within. Module 2. The Rules of the Road. Navigating Federal and State Regulations. Now that we have a better understanding of the threats a recovery center faces, let's talk about the rules of the road. Legal regulations can seem intimidating, but I'm going to give you a simple framework to understand your core obligations. The first law is HIPAA. It's the baseline for protecting all health information in the United States. It sets the standards for privacy and security. But for your specific work in substance use disorder treatment, there's a much stricter, older law called 42 CFR Part 2. This is where organizations often make mistakes, so it's critical to understand the difference. To make this crystal clear, let's use an analogy. Think of your patient data as being stored in a secure building. HIPAA represents the security for the entire building. It requires strong exterior doors, security cameras, an alarm system, and a policy for who gets a keycard to enter. It provides excellent, broad protection. However, your SUD records are not just anywhere in that building. They are inside a maximum security bank vault in the basement. That vault is 42 CFR Part 2. You can't open that vault with just a regular key card. To open it, you need a special key, a secret PIN code, and a signed, dated permission slip from the owner of the vault, the patient. And that permission slip has to be specific. It must say who can open it, what specific information they can look at, and for what exact purpose. That permission slip is written consent. Without it, you cannot even acknowledge to an outside party that the patient has a vault in your building. If a family member calls asking about a patient, your response must be, "I can neither confirm nor deny that person receives services here." Here are your key operational takeaways. The golden rule: when in doubt, don't give it out. It is always safer to politely decline to share information and ask for guidance than to risk a violation of 42 CFR Part 2. Consent is king. A patient-specific, written consent is the key to that vault. Make sure you understand your organization's exact procedures for obtaining and documenting it. Identify your expert. Every organization has a designated privacy officer. This person is your internal guide for navigating complex requests. Use them. These rules aren't designed to make your job harder. They are designed to uphold the promise of absolute confidentiality that allows your patients to seek care without fear. In the next module, we'll see how these rules apply in the real world and how you can become a human firewall to defend against the threats that we've discussed. Module 3. The Human Firewall. Your role as the first line of defense. We've talked about the threats and the rules. Now, let's talk about your most powerful defensive weapon. You, the 405D task force, identified phishing as the #1 threat to healthcare because it's easier to trick a person than to hack a computer. Today, we're going to make you much, much harder to trick. Here's the analogy. Think of your organization's security technology, your antivirus, your firewalls, as the strong stone walls of a fortress. They are essential. But attackers know that the easiest way in isn't to break down the wall. It's to trick a guard into opening the gate. You are the guards at the gate. You are the human firewall. Let's begin by understanding how we can spot a phishing attempt. Many messages can look real. You might, however, notice some message of urgency, like the text, "Immediate action required." Criminals want you to panic, not to think. Second, look at the sender's from address. The name might be right, but the email address itself, when you mouse over the name, it might appear slightly off, or it might be some generic or unrelated name and domain.com. Third, make sure to hover your mouse, but not click, over embedded links in the email. When hovering over, a small box will pop up showing you the true destination, which is usually a long jumbled web address. If the link doesn't match the text, it's likely a phish. The #1 rule is think before you click. Now, let's talk about another threat: loss or theft of equipment. An unencrypted laptop stolen from a car is a nightmare scenario. Your defense is simple but crucial. Physical security. Always treat your work devices like they are your wallet. Keep them secure and in your sight. When you walk away from your desk, lock your computer screen. It takes 1 second. Hit Windows +L or Control-Command-Q on a Mac. An unlocked screen is an open invitation. Next is password hygiene. Make sure to use long, unique passwords. A short phrase like beach sunsets are great. 4 is 1,000 times stronger than summer 2024. And please, use multi-factor authentication, MFA. Requiring a code from your phone to log in is the modern equivalent of a deadbolt on your door. Here is your mission, starting today, Sakir. Be a skeptic. Treat every unexpected email with healthy suspicion. Pause and verify before you click. Lock your screen. Every single time you walk away, no exceptions. Make it muscle memory. Secure your devices. Keep laptops, phones, and tablets physically secure at all times. You are the most critical part of your organization's defense. In our next section, we'll look at the technology that is working 24/7 to back you up. Module 4. Fortifying the fortress. Key defenses and best practices. We've established that you are the guards at the gate. Now let's talk about the fortress walls, the watchtowers, and the strategic blueprints that support you. The 405D HICP framework gives us a fantastic checklist of the 10 most effective cybersecurity practices. A digital download of this best practice guide is made available in our course description provided below or on our smplsolutions.com website. For this micro training, I will focus on and cover the most critical ones that relate to the work you do. First, every strong defense starts with a plan. This includes having cybersecurity policies and conducting a regular security risk analysis. This is how your leadership identifies weak spots and creates a strategy to fix them. But let's talk about the tools that protect you every day. One of the most important is access management. Here's the analogy. We practice what's called the principle of least privilege. Think of a large hospital. A brain surgeon has access to the operating room and patient records. They do not have access to the pharmacy's inventory or the billing department's financial software. They are given the least amount of privilege needed to do their specific job. Your organization does the same. It's not about mistrust. It's a powerful security strategy to limit the damage if an account is ever compromised. Next is data protection, with the star player being encryption. Here's the analogy. Encryption is like taking a sensitive letter, translating it into an unbreakable secret code, and then mailing it. If the mail carrier loses it or someone steals it from the mailbox, all they have is a page of useless gibberish. They can't read the original message. When your data is encrypted, a stolen laptop is just a piece of hardware, not a data breach. To protect you from incoming threats, your organization uses endpoint protection and email protection systems. Think of this as the digital immune system for your computer and your inbox. It's the antivirus software that scans for malware and the email filter that automatically blocks thousands of spam and phishing attempts before they ever reach you. Finally, there's vulnerability management. Software is like anything else. Over time, small cracks and weaknesses are found. Patching or updating your software is like a maintenance crew regularly sealing those cracks before an attacker can exploit them. Those "please update your Windows" pop-up messages might be annoying. However, they are one of the most important things you can do to stay secure. Your takeaways are: trust the process. Understand that policies like access control are there to protect everyone. Allow updates. When your computer needs to update and restart, let it. That is how it stays protected from the latest threats. Use approved tools. Always use your encrypted work email and approved systems to handle patient data. These practices are the bedrock of a strong defense. Next, we'll cover what to do when your alarm is going off. Module 5. When the worst happens. A guide to incident response. Throughout this micro training, I've been talking about building walls and training the guards. But what happens if a threat gets through? What happens when an incident occurs? The single most important thing to remember is that a fast response is your best defense. Having a formal, practiced incident response plan is one of the top 10 recommended practices from the 405D task force. Your role in that plan is the most critical of all. You are the first alert system. An incident isn't always a massive movie-style hack. It can be realizing you just clicked a link in an email that felt off, or your work laptop could have just been stolen from your car. Possibly you may have accidentally included the wrong person on an email containing patient information. In any of these situations, your job is not to investigate, not to feel ashamed, and definitely not to hide it. Your job is to sound the alarm. Here's an example. Think of yourself as a highly sensitive smoke detector in a large building. The instant you detect the slightest hint of smoke, a suspicious pop-up, a potential mistake, your only job is to sound the alarm. You do that by immediately notifying your supervisor or the designated security officer. You don't try to find the source of the fire or put it out yourself. You report it. The sooner the professional firefighters, our incident response team, know about the smoke, the better their chance of putting out a small fire before it becomes an inferno. I want to be very clear about your organization's culture on this. You will be supported and thanked for reporting an incident quickly and honestly. A culture of security is a no-blame culture when it comes to reporting. We cannot fix problems we don't know exist. Your action plan is simple. Know who to contact. Identify your designated reporting contact today. Report immediately. Do not wait. Speed is everything. A mistake reported in 5 minutes is a manageable event. A mistake hidden for 5 days can become a catastrophe. A calm, fast report turns you from a victim of an incident into an active participant in the solution. As we enter our final module, we'll tie all of this together. Module 6. Cultivating a culture of security. So far, we've covered a great deal. We've moved from understanding the threats to mastering the rules and learning the practical hands-on skills to defend your organization. You now understand the top 5 threats identified by the 405D HICP framework, and you're armed with the top 10 practices to defend against them. Feel free to download a copy of these 405D best practices using the link provided in this micro-training course description below. You now have a framework used by the most secure healthcare organizations in the country. But a framework is just a blueprint. It takes people to build a fortress, and it takes a shared commitment to create a true culture of security. What does that look like? It looks like a clinician instinctively locking their computer before greeting a patient. It looks like a billing specialist pausing for 3 seconds to verify an email before clicking a link. It looks like a team member seeing a sensitive document left on a printer and securing it for their colleague. And it looks like a person making a mistake, reporting it instantly without fear, and everyone working together on the solution. Security is not a separate task. It's not the job of an IT department. It is an integrated part of patient care. Your commitment to confidentiality and security is just as vital to the healing process as your clinical and administrative skills. As your trainer, I am leaving you with this simple but important challenge. Make security a conscious, active part of your daily mission. I encourage you to make a personal commitment to 3 things. Be vigilant. Apply the skills you've learned. Be the human firewall. Be a partner. Security is a team effort. Share what you know. Offer friendly reminders. Look out for one another. Be a protector. See every security action you take, no matter how small, as a direct act of protecting a patient's story and their trust in you. You have the knowledge and the tools. By building this culture together, you ensure that your organization remains what it is meant to be, a truly safe and trusted place for recovery to happen. Thank you for taking the time to learn how you and your staff can protect your patients' sensitive information as you work towards building trust and faith into your commitment to maintaining patient privacy and security. Feel free to reach out to our Simple Solutions cybersecurity and IT consulting team by calling 949-544-8621 or completing the inquiry form via the link provided in the YouTube description below.